River.
And who's this River?
My girlfriend, Alyssa.
And you are buying what kind of toys? Pokemon. So tell everybody where we're at.
We're at the toy show, Toyman show.
All right.
St.
So
Paul's Rock.
a long time ago, I made a really interesting video at a train show, and I said I was going to a toy show, but we got here late, so we couldn't do that. So River, you're one generation of toys, and I'm a different generation of toys.
Yeah.
So let's walk through and see if we see any cool toys.
Okay.
Alyssa, have you seen any cool toys?
Sure.
She doesn't talk much. River, have you seen any cool toys?
Screw off.
Hey, no, River, over here, I found a really interesting toy. Do you know what these are from right here?
What? It looks like Clash of the Titans.
It is. That's Perseus. Yeah, these three are Clash of the Titans. And the rest are I used to have Star Wars toys.
Yeah.
I always liked the Sandman. But you have to have lots of stormtroopers because you have to kill them a lot.
Yeah.
And this is an original Luke Skywalker, and you would push his lightsaber out of his hand.
Oh, that's cool.
And you know what this is? Star Trek. I never liked Star Trek. Ever did I like Star Trek. All right, let's see, River. Now, you'll notice a lot of these horror toys over here.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, one of those toys that he's selling for the Godzilla ones that I have, he's selling for $45.
is that cheap?
I'm saying, like, I have like a whole box of them.
Yeah, I know. We do have a lot of toys. Let's walk around here, River. Now look at that, a haunted mansion.
Okay. Gloria and Pia?
Yes.
Oh, it's Scooby-Doo. Where's the cop?
Yeah, I know, but it's a haunted mansion for Scooby-Doo. I can tell you, Little Pony, I know you're into this, right, River?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I collected He-Man. When I played with toys, which I played with them often, my favorite toys were always action figures to make them fight each other. And I hate to say the truth here, but the bad guys always win. I've always gravitated to the bad guys. Like even in wrestling, I always liked the bad guys. I like Ted DiBiase. I like Ric Flair. So if I was Germans fighting Americans, the Germans would always win.
Oh, God.
The bad guys would always win. The Joker would always beat Batman. Oh, look at this, River. Kung Fu was originally was Bruce Lee's idea, and they thought he was too, because David Carradine is kind of a mixture of like an American and Chinese. And they thought that Bruce Lee was a little too Chinese for TV, which was kind of horrible, and so they gave that role to David Carradine. That is super cool. Now look at this, River. I would have had this lunchbox as a kid. I was a huge Planet of the Apes fan. And look at that, dude. It has the thermal mug inside.
That's cool. This booth that we're in, Dad, is a store really close to, kind of close to where we live.
$225 for that.
This store is called Toys of Our Youth.
And here's a real Mego Robin. Doesn't have the box, and he's also missing the gloves. $50. But dude, that is freaking, how much is that? $110, River. And so they have comics here.
Like we just saw Metallica yesterday.
45?
Where?
How was it? Right there. How was the show yesterday? Actually, we went Friday, but it was good. They just didn't play Enter Sandman because apparently they're playing it today.
Now the one thing I will tell you that I hate about going to toy shows or even horror conventions now. Look at this. That is really cool. And they all have their guns. It's a whole army of stormtroopers. Is that everything is Funko Pops now. That's the thing I hate about going to toy shows or conventions. 90% of everything is Funkos.
I'm not the fastest guy, but it comes in.
Now here's an old toy.
Pretty good, let's say batting average and some average.
This hatch would open.
Yeah, don't forget Godzilla.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but yeah, check me out on the Toy Hunter.
Okay, thank
We'll see some more.
Battlestar Galactica. I was a huge fan of Battlestar Galactica as a kid.
Have you ever been to the South County Antique Mall?
And that looks like a Battlestar Galactica toy as well.
South County Antique Mall, yeah.
Huh. So let me go through my history with toys. And this place is very busy. Buck Rogers of the 25th century. Here's my history with toys. And there are some Megos. Those are originals. Those are original Megos, River. I had the Star Trek set, even though no, I never did. But I'm a huge fan of Megos. Oh, look at this. Chips, Poncho, and John. That was a huge show back in the 80s. These are original Megos as well.
Aren't they called Megos?
Mego. M-E-G-O. I used to watch this show here, River. Buck Rogers from the 25th century. My history with toys, I loved Hot Wheels. I loved electric car tracks. I liked Planet of the Apes, was one of my favorite toys. I loved Planet of the Apes. So in my world, the Planet of the Apes would always capture the humans. I did like He-Man, Star Wars. And I love toys because I just guess was always a creative person, so I would want to make out my own like version of what happens in Planet of the Apes or Star Wars. Oops, sorry. So anyway, let's see what River Pokemon. So my son River is really into this Pokemon cards. Of course, Pops. I loved action heroes, action toys. Look at that. Michael Myers. And Jason. I have actually, look at this, Disney's Haunted Mansion. I have actually tried to reconnect with some toys as a youth, such as Planet of the Apes. I'm also looking for, excuse me, Space 1999 was a favorite show of mine as a kid, and I used to have all the toys, and I used to like car tracks like this, electric car tracks, train sets, anything that where you're creating like a world was a favorite thing of mine. Creature from the Black Lagoon. And Alf. Who remembers that TV show? Alf. And we got some Godzilla. I am a huge fan of Godzilla. Oh, look at this.
One of the people in the apartment
The Crow. I love that movie.
hanging outside of their door.
Look at this, we've got some masks. There's Freddy Krueger. Whenever you think of toys, you're always going to find a lot of horror. Because horror is a collectible. And people who like them, buy them. It's like when you walk around a toy show like this, you won't see a lot of, say, James Bond toys. Look at this, a Cthulhu. It's pretty cool. Because people don't collect James Bond stuff. Not like they collect, and James Bond is way bigger than, say, a franchise like Friday the 13th. But I guarantee you Friday the 13th way outsells and licenses more things for toys and collectibles than James Bond. Same with like when you think of like Mission Impossible. It's made lots and lots of money, but you don't see any collectibles for it.
Yeah, I seen that box and I was like, wait a minute. I thought I'd ask you.
You see a lot of collectibles for Pennywise. A franchise nowhere near as big as Mission Impossible. But you see no toys for it. Look at that. That is right from the 70s and 80s. The Hamburglar, the whole crew is there. Mayor McCheese, Grimace. Back in the 80s, 70s, McDonald's tried to clearly market directly to youth. So they created these cartoon characters. But horror is always going to be huge with toys and collectibles. Now that is a really cool poster. Even if you haven't seen the movie, you want the poster, right? And this guy over here is selling all kinds of old movie posters, including this poster right here, Lady Frankenstein. Only the monster she made could satisfy her strange desires. That kind of sounds morbid. Terrifying monsters from a lost age, the mole people. Vicious lips, they're lost and loose in outer space. Okay. Giant spider strikes, crawling terror, 100 feet high. Universal. Leatherface. The terror begins the second it starts. Oh, they got a Bruce Lee poster for Enter the Dragon, a movie they've talked about remaking many, many times. But how could you do that? Fists of Fury. I loved Bruce Lee as a kid. I idolized him. Look at this. Alien Trespass. It came from another galaxy, a creeping, crawling nightmare of terror. Now we've seen it all. Look at this really cool Batman game. I was a huge fan of Batman 66, which is right here. Huge fan of Batman 66. Newer Star Wars, not a fan. I really feel like Disney has killed Star Wars. I feel like it's literally unwatchable. Star Wars is unwatchable.
It doesn't work at all. It's not the same timeline.
And I thought George Lucas put a dagger in it with his prequels. Like with no... The stormtroopers were all CGI and it looked so bad. And I thought, man, he killed it. No, Disney You killed it. It is unwatchable at this point. There's an original TIE fighter from back in the 1980s. Sitting right next to Pennywise. You know, another toy that I had as a kid was Lone Ranger. I was a huge Lone Ranger fan. I loved Spider-Man, the Batman game. My favorite superhero was Batman and Spider-Man. There is no second. There is no third. It's Batman, Superman. There's Roddy Piper. No, he never was that strong. He was actually never a big wrestler in terms of like girth and muscles. However, Roddy Piper was one of my favorite wrestlers. Why? Because he was a bad guy. And he was one of the best ever. Not as good as Ric Flair. But he's up there. Top 5 for sure. Now they haven't. Look at all these games they have here. Board games. Dogfight.
I'm trying to.
Patty Duke game. What the heck?
I mean, just looking at it.
Does anybody know the story of Patty Duke? She was kidnapped and then sort of became part of the bandits that went around. They were modern day Bonnie and Clydes back in the 70s. And then when she got caught, she said, oh, she was brainwashed. She was the daughter of some very rich, powerful people. And there's a game, Patty Duke.
Yes.
What the heck?
No, just the top.
It's insane.
That's the difference in price.
Yeah, that's why this one's 80.
80's a good price. I've
Oh, yeah.
sold them for that
me.
without the teeth
Yep.
several times here.
Now, King Kong. I can only tell you that the original King Kong, as a kid, I would watch it, and every time King Kong would fall off the Empire State Building, I would cry. I would absolutely sob every time it happened. He's supposed to be the bad guy. I don't know, I like the bad guys. So what do we got here? Upstairs. We got an artist. Whoops, excuse me. I had these toys too, like Voltron. I liked anything sci-fi. Oh, you know, another toy that I was big time into was G.I. Joe. Not necessarily these, but the dolls. And I used to collect all the accessories. And there's something down here. I loved G.I. Joes. The original ones. I had like the G.I. Joe helicopter. Pretty much anything and everything G.I. Joe I had. I liked telling stories. And those toys helped you do that. Now look at that Mega Godzilla. Holy cow. I love Mega Godzilla. Got some books up here. Anyway, I'm just having fun talking to you about toys. So if I had to rank my top 10 toys of all time, no order, because I'd have to think about it. Battlestar Galactica, G.I. Joe, superheroes, Planet of the Apes, cars, racing cars, did I say G.I. Joe? Battlestar Galactica, Space 1999. Another toy that I had that I really liked were called Micronauts. And I have not seen any Micronauts up here anywhere in this whole place.
You guys good? Good to see you. Are you guys going to be doing the Advent calendar?
I really... Oh my God. Check this out.
Awesome. We watch it on
Kojak. That was a huge TV show with Telly Savalas. Who was also in a movie, I think, called Dirty Dozen. Look at this.
Oh, thank
A
you.
Green Goblin mask.
Yeah, it's a good statement for everybody.
Huh. I think we'll head downstairs. And they have like a little lane of toys. Oh, look at this. Who had an Atari 2600 or a Sega Genesis? Of course I had both. Super Nintendo. You know, obviously, video games became a popular thing in the 90s. Not so much when I was a kid. Atari 2600. I had a Commodore 64. And I used to hack games online. Let's go downstairs. And I used to hack games with my computer, and I used to run this program that would get people's phone numbers. So then you could use the phone numbers for somebody else and then download games. I know, very illegal, but hey, I was like 17. What do you want? So let's walk out and see what else they got.
I don't really want to sell it, to be honest with you.
More Funkos, which I am not somebody who collects those. Just recently, I was asking myself, because I have a lot of toys and comics as well. Whenever I look for a comic, I'm always looking for like the first appearance of Juggernaut, which that could be it, because that's why it's $100. But I'm always looking for the first appearance. Anyway, so we have a lot of Funko Pops. Whenever you come to events like this, it's like 50% of everything for sale is Funkos. Don't know why. Don't know how it got that big, but it did. And I would say the second biggest chunk is Star Wars. Superheroes, and then a mixture of everything else. But here's what I didn't see here, which I'm disappointed. Batman. Captain America's shield. The Thing. And this alien. These bobbleheads, all horror. This guy obviously really likes horror. Look at Elvira. I love Elvira. She's funny. Oh, I love that TV show. Lost in Space. That was one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Along with Edward Scissorhands and Alien and Gremlins. All fond memories. Evil Dead 2 would be in my top 10 horror movies of all time. Annabelle. Chucky, not a fan. Love Bela Lugosi though. Love Bela Lugosi. I want to, next time I'm in California, I plan to visit Bela Lugosi's grave. That is a video that I want to make because I just think Bela Lugosi is super cool. Star Wars. I want to visit Bela Lugosi's grave. I have visited, another icon of mine would be Lon Chaney Jr. And I actually...
The card itself is $25.
Well,
I visited his grave. He's buried in the same cemetery, or same mausoleum as his father. But his father is in an area that you can't get to. And his father's tomb is unmarked, meaning it's there's nothing written on the outside of it. And I think that has something to do with the fact that he's the man of 1,000 faces, but I'm not sure. Lots of Godzilla. Speaking of, I want to try to visit all the graves of all my favorite Universal Studio horror movie, including, I know where the gypsy, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, where she's buried. The gypsy from the Wolfman movies. You could visit Glenn Strange's cemetery. Boris Karloff was cremated, ashes scattered in England. Bela Lugosi is actually buried in California. Lon Chaney Jr. are in California. Trying to think who else. But would love to visit all of them. Oh, how about Dr. Frankenstein, Victor Frankenstein? Could visit him. But anyway, that's for another trip to California. But anyway, make sure this video is like just kind of going down memory lane. Didn't see a lot of memory lane stuff. I saw one Cylon, which sucks. One. But didn't see any Space 1999. Didn't see any Micronauts. Anyway, we have a whole bunch of videos now that Halloween is over. We're going to make a whole bunch of cool videos coming up. And until then, we'll see you soon. And we do plan on visiting a lot of haunted houses and going behind the scenes to a lot of haunted houses in the off season. All right, until then, here at this toy show, we'll see you soon.